All right, well, good afternoon and welcome. It's great to say to sunny Santa Rosa. My name is Michael Roth and I'm Vice President of Communications for AEG. We are the presenters and creators, I suppose, of the AMGEN Tour of California, and we are all thrilled to be here for the 7th annual AMGEN Tour of California. We are happy everybody here in Santa Rosa and are saying hello to people on cyclingnews.com and on AMGENTourofCalifornia.com. We'll be introducing the riders later and asking them for a few things to say. Beforehand, since we have so many of our 700 plus contingent of media members here, I want to just point out a couple people to them. Our publicists joining me this year, once again, Aaron, Eileen, and Stephen from Golan Harris. If you can stand up so everybody recognizes you. And Cassandra from AEG, and so I promise to the media here that anything you need by their whole team, and Steve Brenner from KOM Sports doing our media operations will take anything you need us to do for you. We will be happy to deliver. Credentialing is going to continue today after the press conference and all day tomorrow. Those of you that need to make your moto arrangements, photo passes and all of that, we will be happy to take care of you. Many of you know that there will be a follow-up press conference every day with our stage winner and our jersey winners. That will be as soon as the riders are comfortable and able to get to the press conference. They will all have probably one more stop to make after that, so we will put everybody in the room as quickly as we can. We ask that you let them get off the track and to the trophy ceremony as fast as you can by not stopping them on the track or anywhere else before the presentation, because we try to put all of our podium ceremonies on TV live, and that would be on TV live this year on NBC Sports Network, which we'll be talking about a little later. Also want to point out that once again, we are very, very proud to be part of the AMGEN Tour of California because of what AMGEN stands for and their Breakaway from Cancer initiative. Every race there will be someone that's being honored, especially. We'll let you know who that person is. They will always be available for interviews, and Mary Clem, representing AMGEN, is here today. This is Mary, so if you need anything with that, Mary and Allison and her team will be able to help you with all of that. Merrill Averis, you'll hear from Santa Rosa. Thank you again for welcoming us back to your town. It's a funny thing, this role plays in the race. When I'll tell us one story that when AEG, the first year in 2006, we had a lovely prologue in San Francisco, but it was the first time that AEG saw what the peloton looked like moving 30, 40 miles an hour, and when it passed us in Santa Rosa, that was a moment on that street with the three-story parking structure over leaning out. We knew we had a race, we knew we had an international event, and here 7 years later, we know that we have not only the biggest race in America, but certainly one of the top 3 in the world. Lastly, I'd like to point out that as we try to change it up a little bit every year, not only with the cities and the course, but adding things for the fans. I want to point out that the Nissan Ride Before the Pros is going to be in downtown Los Angeles on Sunday the 20th. Every year we have to sweep the course before the pros come in, and people like to ride our course. They like to see the challenges that our riders are going to have. Well, this year, for 5 miles, the downtown part of the course from stage 8, from 8 to 9:30 in the morning, we're going to let any fan that would like to ride that 5 miles. All you have to do is go to AMGENTourofCalifornia.com, check the box that says you're healthy and you'll come with a bike. And for that hour and a half, you can ride the course as many times as you can get around 5 miles and stay for the race, which is going to come in, and our ceremony will be just before noon on Sunday. And last, I'd like to point out that just after noon on Sunday the 20th, the Los Angeles Kings will be dropping the puck inside Staples Center for the NHL Stanley Cup Western Conference Finals. So we will have the biggest race in the country. We'll have the Stanley Cup Western Conference Finals all going on right at LA Live. It's really going to have the eyes of the sports universe on this on the LA Live campus that day. It's going to be quite a happening in downtown. So without further ado, we will hear from everybody you see behind me and to my left. And to take us through is, again, for the 7th year, our Director of Media Operations, Steve Brenner.
This point, I'd like to bring up the mayor of Santa Rosa, give some welcoming remarks here to this great city.
Excuse me. Welcome. The city of Santa Rosa is proud to host the AMGEN Tour of California for the 6th time, and we are thrilled to host the beginning, middle, and end of Stage 1 on Sunday. It is great to see this gathering of local and worldwide media representatives. This is our chance to show off our beautiful city for all of you. This is a great opportunity for all of you and your readers and viewers to see this world-class destination to ride a bike, whether as a pro racer or as a recreational rider. But this is also a great opportunity to showcase many of our other communities' attributes. Besides our year-round great weather and award-winning wines, we offer wonderful restaurants and many other attractions, including the Charles Schulz Museum and the Luther Burbank Home and Gardens. Santa Rosa welcomes you, and we welcome the Tour of California, its riders, and its fans. We invite you to enjoy this great weekend of activities surrounding this great bike race, and we encourage you to return in the future to enjoy the beauty that is Sonoma County. Thanks for being here, and best of luck to all the riders. We'll see you at the finish line, and go Levi.
The city-county interplay is very important in any of these races, and Shirley Zane is here, the chair of the Sonoma County Board of Supervisors.
Thank you. I am the chair of the Sonoma County Board of Supervisors, and I'd like to welcome you all to Sonoma County. It is the best place on earth. And that's how Levi Leipheimer describes it, and that's how most of us think of it also who live here. We're proud to be able to show it off to the rest of the world this weekend. I'm a bike rider myself, and I know that the very best way to see this beautiful county is on a bike. But the second best way may be by watching the AMGEN Tour of California. Stage 1 on Sunday will show off the best that we have to offer. 2 incredible cities, Santa Rosa and Windsor, along with our beautiful rural farms, vineyards, Russian River, the Redwoods, and breathtaking Sonoma coast. Matter of fact, that incredible buffet that you had today, and how about that food, huh? That was a sampling of the local food that is actually grown and produced here. The AMGEN riders are going to see everything in one day, the river, the Redwoods, the Sonoma coast, but we want to recommend that visitors slow down and experience our county at a more leisurely place. Besides a bike ride, you may want to take a winery tour. We only have about 600 of them. And while you're also here, don't forget to take a canoe trip on the river or a trip to the beach. And don't forget that we've also got some world-class mountain biking at Annandale State Park, about 10 minutes from here. Enjoy your time here. Make sure you tell all of your readers and your viewers to come see Sonoma County in person. Because after all, as Levi said, and thank you, Levi, it is the best place on earth. And good luck. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce Kristin Bachochin. She's Executive Director for the AMGEN Tour of California, and she's seen this project over the last 7 years evolve, and she's played a great and instrumental part in the development of this race. Kristin?
Thank you, Steve. Welcome, everybody, to the kickoff press conference for the 2012 AMGEN Tour of California. We are very excited to be back here in Santa Rosa, and it's for Santa Rosa to be the overall start as we kick off the 7th edition of the AMGEN Tour of California. The race has continued to grow exponentially over the years, over the past 6 years, and as Michael alluded to, we realized we had something special in 2006 when we were right here in Santa Rosa in Sonoma County as the thousands of fans were lining the streets in the parking lot. It was extremely impressionable, and we realized that we had a moment of truth for AEG and the AMGEN Tour of California. and we are very, very proud of the success that we've achieved. The expectations continue to grow and are very high this year. We've got the most challenging course to date. We have the most competitive roster out of all 6 previous editions, with 3 of the world's top 4 cyclists racing here. It's going to be a very exciting race. Not only are the riders going to be competing to win the AMGEN Tour of California, but they're going to be preparing and positioning for the upcoming Olympics. I would like to recognize and give a special thanks to AMGEN, who is our title sponsor and has been with us since the inception of our race for the 7th year, and I want to applaud them for continuing to leverage the race to raise awareness of the important resources available to people affected by cancer through its Breakaway from Cancer initiative. I would also like to thank all of our other national partners and jersey sponsors, Rabobank, Visit California, Nissan, and Exergy. And I'd like to thank all of our 14 host city partners who have done a tremendous job. Raisa and David, sitting next to me today, who have been with us since 2006. We really could not put on this race without all of their efforts. So we appreciate all of your hard work, so thank you. I would also like to thank Medalist Sports, Jim Birrell and his team. Medalist Sports has been with us since the inception of our race in 2006 and has done a phenomenal job for us. So thank you, Jim, and the rest of your staff. I would like to thank my team and all of the staff that travel with us throughout the week, which is over 1,000, but especially my core team who's out here today, who have worked extremely hard, and some of them who have been with us since 2006. Kelly Staley, Kellen Vigil, and Ryan Nung. We couldn't put on this race without them, so thank you. And then especially our teams and our riders. We appreciate the teams continuing to assemble a world-class field that's going to complement our toughest course to date. We're excited about the course this year. I'm not going to take any of our race director's thunder, but I would like to say that we take great pride in developing our route, as well as selecting our host city partners. Not only because it attracts the world's elite athletes, but it puts an international spotlight on the state of California for 8 days. We have seen an overwhelming response from our host cities. Every year it increases in terms of the amount of proposals that we receive every year. The state of California is so large, there's only so many cities that we can go to every year. And we're excited that we've been able to go to Santa Rosa now for 6 years. Every year we continue to challenge ourselves, and once again, we are going to raise the bar and create a route that's more challenging than the last. And the great thing about planning a race, as I alluded to, is that the state of California is very large. There's so much that we can choose from epic climbs to fast and flat stages to rolling hills, thrilling finishes by the sea. California really has it all. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we continue to develop a route that is going to challenge the world-class athletes, but one that also fuels the competition, and the race isn't decided in the first couple of days. And we believe that we have achieved it this year. I'll let Jim go into further detail, but the last point that I would like to make everybody aware, not only do we have a competitive route, but all of the iconography within the state of California that we're showcasing, again, starting in Santa Rosa and Sonoma County, is fantastic, that we're able to actually take advantage of all the wineries and just all the beautiful parts of Sonoma County. Again, then going through Gold Country, and then of course the final weekend, which we have 2 back-to-back mountain stages with Big Bear Lake and Mount Baldy. And then of course the final day, the overall finish, we are going to be starting on probably one of the most, or probably the most iconic street in the world, Rodeo Drive, starting in Beverly Hills and finishing in Los Angeles at our home, LA Live. We are continuing to enhance our broadcast package every year. We're excited to say that we have over 26 hours of coverage. So daily we will have 2 hours live and a 1-hour recap that will be shown in over 200 countries and territories. And on the final day, in the first time in the history of the AMGEN Tour of California, we will showcase Stage 8, the final day on Sunday, May 20th, live on NBC from 10 a.m. to noon. Throughout the week, if you can't watch it on television, please make sure that you log on to www.amgentourofcalifornia.com. We have the Radio Shack Tour Tracker, so you can follow the race live as well as receive daily updates. And the great thing about this year, you can also download the app, and it's free. 2012 is an exciting year for cycling fans in America. We have the AMGEN Tour of California in May, just before the Tour de France and the Olympics, which provides all of the fans an opportunity to see some of the biggest names in cycling before they head to Europe. And even better, you get to see some of the American Olympic hopefuls compete on our home turf. If there is one message that I can leave with you today, for all of you who have not been at the AMGEN Tour of California, this is the perfect year to come. We have a fantastic field. It's going to be challenging and a beautiful course. We're going to have great weather, which Santa Rosa and Sonoma County have already promised, so thank you. And all of the excitement that the race and ancillary events generate throughout the week. So please find the nearest city and join us. And for all of the fans across the United States and worldwide who have continued to come out and watch the AMGEN Tour of California, we appreciate all of your support, and we look forward to seeing you back at one of the cities this year. And one thing I wanted to point out that Michael alluded to earlier is that the AMGEN Tour of California has something for everybody, whether you're an avid cyclist, you're a recreational cyclist, you're a cycling fan. On the final day, on Sunday, May 20th, we are opening up the final 5-mile closed circuit, so all fans have the opportunity to ride the circuit, which will start and finish at LA Live. So if you have not registered for the ride, I strongly encourage you to do so today, and you can do so on the AMGENTourofCalifornia.com. You definitely do not want to miss it. We, AEG, as a company, are just so proud of the support that we've received from our sponsors, our host city partners, the teams, the riders, the media, but most importantly, all of the fans. Together, we have created America's greatest race, and a race that is truly respected by the international cycling community. I want to thank you on behalf of myself, our chairman, Mr. Anschutz, and our CEO and president, Tim Leiweke. We look forward to seeing you this week. Thank you.
Thanks, Kristin. As Kristin mentioned, AMGEN has played such a critical role in the development of this race now in its 7th year as the title sponsor. On behalf of AMGEN today, Catherine West, who's the advocacy director for the oncology division of AMGEN. Catherine.
Thank you. And thank you, Kristin, as well. And we at AMGEN would also like to thank all the teams at AEG, at Medalist Sports, and everyone here who makes this great event such a success. You guys have been outstanding partners, and it's been a great 7 years, and we're looking for 7 years, and we're looking forward to. It's been a great 6 years, and we're looking forward to 7. A little bit about AMGEN. Aside from serving as the title sponsor of this phenomenal race, our core business is to discover and deliver medicines to treat serious illnesses, including cancer. We're also a little hooked on cycling, in case you haven't noticed, and I've been known to get on a bike from time to time myself. But we're really excited about being here in our 7th year and as the title sponsor of the AMGEN Tour of California. As you all are covering the race, you'll hear a lot about Breakaway from Cancer, which really is the heart and soul of our sponsorship. Breakaway from Cancer is AMGEN and 4 nonprofit organizations that really focuses on connecting people affected by cancer to resources, education, and services free of charge, from prevention through survivorship. We're engaging local cancer survivors along the route in a number of ways, from starting the starting gun at the start of the race, to presenting jerseys, to breakaway miles in 4 finished cities. So I'd really encourage you guys to come out and check out these activities. They really are great, and a little coverage would be nice as well. And to learn more about the initiative, go to breakawayfromcancer.com, and you'll learn more about our partners and all the great things they're doing in the cancer community. And in closing, I'd just like to point out that AMGEN was born and is headquartered in California, and we are so proud to be a part of this phenomenal event, something that showcases our beautiful state of California and also helps to stimulate the local economy. So Have a great AMGEN Tour of California 2012, and it's going to be a blast, and have a good time this week. Thank you.
Jim Birrell of Medalist Sports has served as the race director for the past 6 years, now going on its 7th year. He'll give some brief comments on the overall course and the structure and the teams. Jim?
Thank you, Steve. You got to ask yourself, why are we here? And I think, it goes back to the vision that Mr. Anschutz had back in early 2000, and an opportunity to showcase this beautiful state to a worldwide audience. And over the course of the last 6 years, we've strived for excellence in building, first and foremost, a safe course, and second, one that would showcase this state to the audience on a global level, so that we can continue to create that economic impact over not only the 8 days of this tour, but also for weeks and months and years to come, because of the beauty that they've seen through the lens of our broadcast team and the competitiveness that these gentlemen in front of us, along with their teammates and those that aren't here. First, I want to thank again Mr. Anschutz for his vision, our good friends at AMGEN for their support in this platform, Kristin Bachochin, who without her and her leadership, it's just really a proud moment to be up here. When you go back and you look at where we started in 2005, and when at that time Kristin was just an assistant to one of the leadership members of AEG, and the relationship that we have forged in those now 7-8 years is inseparable. And I think that the long-term vision and the opportunity that this platform has for the sport of cycling is only going to get brighter due to Kristin and her team's leadership and skills and passion to continue to build this platform. I'd also like to thank my business partner, Chris Aaronholt, and our staff at Medalist Sports for their tireless efforts and, again, keeping their eye on the ball and building a safe and successful event. When we complete this 8-day journey that begins here in Santa Rosa and concludes in Los Angeles, we'll have raced over 5,000 miles over the course of the 8 years. And to reflect back, it was in the winter of 2005 when we came to Santa Rosa, and I went up to Highland Ranch, which is a good friend of mine, Scott Nickel, where he hosted a dinner, and we had the likes of Levi and Gavin Chilcott and a lot of the local residents who were a part that have been longtime residents of Santa Rosa and Sonoma County, and also back in the Coors Classic days, and building something that would highlight this state. And that's the privilege that I have. I've been given a blank canvas year after year, and have been able to connect some unbelievable communities. And I think that you'll see over the course of the next 8 days, each and every one of our host cities are going to open their doors to this world-class event and really shine. When you look at the icons that we get to highlight beginning to Sunday, with the vineyards of Sonoma County to the coastal cliffs of Sonoma County, and the streets of Santa Rosa are just are going to be unparalleled to anything that you'll see across America. Day 2, starting in San Francisco, the imagery that's going to come out of that stage to our world audience is going to be overwhelming. From the Golden Gate Bridge to the Trans-American Building to Alcatraz, before getting on the Great Highway and seeing the attacks on Bonnie Doon before concluding in Santa Cruz County. Day 3 is a new stage for us. While we're going back to San Jose, who has been an alumni city since its inception. We've got a little bit different route, departing out of San Jose, incorporating Mount Diablo. Mount Diablo has been a goal of ours since the beginning, and we've been successful in weaving our way through Contra Costa County before concluding in Livermore. One of the new bright cities that I'm anxious to really showcase is Sonora, which is really right in the rich heartland of the gold country. It's a small little quaint community where we'll take Highway 49 south through Mariposa, where we'll pick up a course from several years ago, which is the gateway to Yosemite, before coming through Oakhurst and coming back to the Central Valley and concluding in the town of Clovis. On Thursday, we'll have our individual time trial. We finished there 2 years ago with a road race finish that started in Visalia and ended in Bakersfield, but this year we've got an 18-mile time trial that will be a moment of truth for each individual in this 128-member peloton. On Friday, we'll begin the first of our 2 mountain stages, returning to Palmdale, which hosted the event 2 years ago, and concluding up on the top of Big Bear. Our next moment of truth will come on Saturday, where we'll start in a new community, Ontario, and make our way up to Mount Baldy, where we saw great camaraderie between 2 teammates that will probably unleash a different outcome this year. We'll conclude in a former city manager of Santa Rosa, who is now the city manager of Beverly Hills. We've had the distinct pleasure of uniting Rodeo Drive through Sunset Boulevard to the conclusion in Los Angeles, incorporating the entire LA Live campus, where the 2012 AMGEN Tour of California racer will be declared. So again, thank you, and we will see you over the next 8 days.
I bet you did that all from your memory. That's pretty good. In January, Versus Network here in the U.S. Transferred over hands to NBC Sports Network. As Kristin brought up, 26 hours will be airing on the network as well as NBC. And what not a better bridge to the athlete part of the program than a call on Phil Liggett. He will be broadcasting again with his colleague Paul Sherwin, who is here. And Phil, you give some insight to what you are going to see in the next 8 days, and also a little bit about the new venture here with NBC.
Thanks very much indeed. Well, hi everybody. I've been coming here for 6 of the 7 years. Paul's come here for all 7. He's just chosen this moment to leave the room because he's fed up of hearing me talking. And we've watched the race grow and grow rapidly. Not as an organisation, because the organisation was on the top of its world the day it came here 7 years ago. But now it's made such good friends with AMGEN, with AEG, and of course with the towns and cities. Now, I'm delighted to see the sun's finally found Santa Rosa. I've only seen it in the rain, but I think it's a beautiful city and one of the nicest cities on the race route. And I've watched how the city has worked with this event over the years, and it had to happen that one day the Grand Départ, as they call the Tour de France start, would happen here in Santa Rosa. And it'll be a fabulous weekend of cycling, and it will be one of great camaraderie. I knew I was onto a good thing when I got a bottle of wine on check-in, and there was another one in my room when I arrived there late last night. We're very excited with the progress within the television network. First of all, the television coverage here. There's a lot of events in Europe would cut off their right hands to have such a coverage around the world that this event does gain. And, you know, California as a state is as big or bigger than many European countries, as we find out as we drive steadily down towards LA, in and out off the coastline. Now, first of all, Comcast bought NBC and Versus, and then the next logical step was for NBC to show Versus how to cover cycle racing. So they took us over in effect, although we're all under the same umbrella as Comcast. So the coverage now, it's put us into a lot more households. Millions more people will likely watch this event here in the United States. So what we decided to do, well, I didn't decide, I was told what I was doing, but it means now that on the NBC Sports Network, every night, all 7 stages, we'll get the last 2 hours live, which is a huge undertaking, not to say the least very expensive, to cover cycle racing live, but it will be done Tour de France style. And talking Eastern times, that will go out The live daily will be 5 Eastern, and it's even better, I think, in the mid-afternoon here on the West Coast. And then we will do a recap every evening as well, which my viewers in Britain, when they see all these things, think the recap's a lot better because we cut out all the rubbish that Liggett says. On Sunday, then that is a very exciting occasion. We're down in LA, we're showing all the iconic places of Los Angeles, as well as Rodeo Drive, of course. That will be live on NBC, on the national network, from start to finish, which is a terrific jump forward for cycling particularly. And I suspect might be maybe the only stage that will result in a bunch sprint. And I can say the name Tom Boonen, so I should be okay at the finish line on Sunday. The course itself, I think, is probably the best course of all 7. As I used to organise the Tour of Britain for 22 years, I know it's the riders who make the best course in hindsight, but in foresight, then you look to the organiser to try and lay down the best course. And on paper, this is the best course. Hills are balanced well. They come near the end where they can be used as springboards to finish. It'll be a tough opening day here. Not major climbs, but extremely hard roads here in Sonoma County and coming back into Santa Rosa. And I think that from day one, we're going to see a lot of very interesting moves. As far as the riders go, we've got 3 of the top 4 ranked riders this season riding this race. Led by Tom Boonen, who's had an absolutely idyllic start to his year. He's back. He is the old Tom that we've known of old. And he had a brilliant classic season, which resulted in his 4th record-equaling win of Paris-Roubaix, where he joins his countryman, Roger de Vlamingh, amongst other things. Vincenzo Nibali is also one of the top 3 ranked riders now in the world, and also Peter Sagan, who's ranked number 4. The teams want to come here anymore. I was asked earlier to say where this race fits in the world calendar. Well, fit is the wrong word to use now. It is part of the world calendar, doesn't fit in at all. It's part of the world calendar of cycling. Just like we talk of Paris-Roubaix, or the Tour de Flanders, or the Tour of Romandy, you talk of the AMGEN Tour of California. And this race now is very much part of the world cycling scene, and that's evidenced by the quality of the riders who want to come. They're not cajoled and persuaded to be sent here by their teams. They want to come and ride this race as they prepare for the Tour de France, which is in the month of July. To break in on the calendar and run right up against the Giro d'Italia is a really difficult thing to do. The AMGEN actually succeeded the first year it did it, and it's never looked back since. So we're looking for an extremely good race on television, one that we can now reach a lot of people in America who will not be cognizant with the sport of cycling. I've been in the shopping mall today, and I've been stopped by at least 10 people who were not cyclists, who are really looking forward to watching this race. And I don't think we could have found a better place to start. So good luck, everybody, and especially to the riders. Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Phil. Risa De La Rosa and David Guyam from the local organizing committee have done a phenomenal job here in Santa Rosa. I do think they are owed a bit of applause here for hosting the event. Before we get to the athletes, tell us about these fine, large magnums of wine up here.
Well, you know, when you're in Sonoma County, you know, you got to represent your wineries. And these are the wines that'll be on the trophies that were made by a winery producer for us. And they are from our local winemaker, Radioshack-Nissan. And they're one of our better Pinots of the area. Has our local logo on it and the stage.
So the stage winner will be...
Oh yeah, that's first, second, and third. So, you know, when we do it, we go all the way. Not just first place, but second and third get a trophy as well.
Where's the one for the announcers, race director?
Now we're talking.
executive
Now we're
director?
talking. That's my fault.
I mean,
Well,
come
I
on,
don't know,
really?
Jim, Phil got some on check-ins, so.
And a reminder, gentlemen, to press the button here when you're to speak, and the red light should come on the mic. On to the athlete part of the program here. I'd like to introduce Vincenzo Nibali from the Liquigas-Cannondale team. He's from Italy. He's going into May, the number 2 ranked rider by the UCI rankings. So proud to welcome him back. He was 6th overall in the 2009 AMGEN Tour of California. He was busy the last 2 Mays, riding in his home country. being a podium finisher at the Giro d'Italia. So glad to have him here. He was also the winner of the Trinidad Radical, a big race in Italy. Also, he was third in Milan-San Remo this year, second in Liège-Bastogne-Liège, second overall in the Tour of Flanders. And so his resume goes on, including the overall win in the 2010 Vuelta a España. So welcome, Vincenzo. So you're returning to the AMGEN Tour of California. You've foregone the Giro d'Italia. Tell us why, and are you excited here? Obviously racing for the Cannondale brand, which is a California-based company, or Connecticut.
Salve a tutti, per me è un grande piacere essere qui al Giro di California, per me è la seconda volta. Come italiano è un po' difficile saltare il Giro d'Italia, però sono molto contento di essere qui. Questa è una grande corsa e cercherò magari di farla al meglio.
So first, hello to everybody, and yes, this is my second trip to the Tour of California, and it's difficult for an Italian to not do the Giro d'Italia, but it's an important race, and I'm going to do my best to have a great result.
And what were his memories from the 2009 AMGEN Tour of California?
No, il ricordo del Giro di California è molto bello nel 2009 perché ho fatto una buona classifica, sono arrivato sesto e in una tappa mi sono classificato secondo dietro Frank Schleck, quindi sono venuto qui anche per cercare di migliorare quel risultato che non sarà facile, però ci proverò.
So I have some great memories from the Tour of California in 2009, and was able to achieve a nice result with a 6th overall, and also a stage result where I finished second behind Frank Schleck. So I hope to, it may not be easy, but I hope to improve on that classification and give the best I can.
On to Tom Boonen, a Mega Pharma-Quickstep team. He's from Belgium. He is currently the #1 ranked rider in the world. So welcome, Tom. If you follow the sport and you saw April, he was on an absolute tear, winning the Paris-Roubaix for the 4th time. He also won the Tour of Flanders, Ghent-Wevelgem. He's won the Tour of Oman. He's a 6-time stage winner of the Tour de France, and once again 4 times as a Paris-Roubaix. Welcome, Tom. The going into the California race here, the weather, and there will probably be 1 or 2 stages that I think will be built for your sprint. Tell us how you and your team are approaching the AMGEN Tour of California this year.
First and for all, it's a little bit special. Most of the riders that are here are coming back out of a rest period, a little bit calmer period. So for us, it's the first competition after the classics. But I only have good memories about this tour. It's a really nice organization, and also the parcours is very nice. It's the perfect race to get started again, and I think we have maybe 3 or 4 stages that will suit me, not just 2. So I'm looking forward to getting a big result.
And what's it like to be on top of the world now with your ranking?
It's very nice, of course. It's better to be on #1 than number 16.
All right. On to Tejay Van Garderen. And Tejay is certainly an up-and-coming star in the sport here. Last year, he was the best young rider, 5th overall in the AMGEN Tour of California. He went on in August to claim part of the race leader and the yellow jersey during the USA Pro Challenge in Colorado. He's got a very distinguished career already at age 23. Welcome, Tejay, from BMC Racing, located here in Santa Rosa. So how's it like to be on the home team now, going into a race literally with the hometown crowd here?
Oh yeah, it's really special. I just got to see the BMC service course for the first time today, and it's actually right next door to a brewery, so I don't know how they get anything done over there.
Tell us a little bit about the team makeup and your approach to this year's AMGEN Tour of California.
Well, yeah, we have a strong, well-rounded team of some good climbers and some good, strong all-arounders like George and Steve Cummings, Morabito and Brent Bookwalter for the climbs, and yeah, Van Avermaet could maybe give Boonen a little trouble in some of the bunch sprints, and yeah, I'm gonna do my best to try to finish high on the overall.
On to Tom Danielson from Boulder, Colorado, racing for the Garmin-Barracuda team. Tom last year finished 3rd overall in this race, 8th overall in the Tour de France. He is 3 times the top 10 finisher of the Vuelta a España, and in 2005 won the Tour de Georgia, which at that time was the top U.S. Race. Welcome, Tom. And you had certainly a renaissance here in the last couple of years. Can you tell us, you know, a couple reasons why, and how's the team approaching this AMGEN Tour of California this year?
Yeah, the AMGEN Tour of California has always been a big event for all the teams I've been on. You know, first time I came here, I came to the first one in 2006 with Discovery Channel, and that was a huge goal there. And my role in the team there was more of a worker and a helper for some of the other guys. And over the years, that's kind of been my position, and I've been able to really watch the race develop. And then last year, it was really a critical turning point in my career. It was the first time that, in a long time, that I stood on a big podium and next to some of my idols in the sport. And it was pretty cool to be up there. And I think at that moment last year, I realized okay, it's time for me to get back on track and back to my place. I really enjoyed it. So really from that point on, I looked at myself so much differently, and then was able to go on and do a good Tour of Swiss, and then a great Tour de France. So, and then a good USA Pro Cycling Challenge. So I'm very thankful to this race, and for a number of different reasons. But for one, it's just always left a good taste in my mouth, and I'm really excited to be back here in 2012 and hopefully do a good overall.
A little insight to the Garmin-Barracuda team and the riders you have at this year's race.
Yeah, this is a really huge priority for Garmin-Barracuda, especially, 2 big American sponsors here. And, we've always been after this race and been on the podium, but we've never been in the position to win. And I feel this year we have a great opportunity, and we have a fantastic team. You guys have just seen that Andrew Talansky finished 2nd overall in Tour Romandie. He's a phenomenal time trialist, and he's a great climber and young guy, and he trains a lot with Levi. So that's a result in itself. So I think he'll be good, and he'll be up there for sure in the overall. And then, of course, we have a bunch of good riders that are like Alex Howes. We saw him in the classics riding really well up there. Tom Peterson, take note on that name. That guy, he was won a stage here in Santa Cruz, and if there's a climber, if he gets to the front, there's not too many people that can pass him. So he'll be really instrumental, I think. And then we've got Nathan Haas, Australian guy, really good. He'll be super strong. Henrik Hausler, he'll be good in the sprints, and of course able to play a part in the entire team. Jacob Rath, he's a name that you guys will learn a lot more, I think, this week, and he's very strong. Am I forgetting anyone? Was that 8? Zabriskie. He'll either be at the front or the back of the peloton. I really can't tell you, but I purposely forgot his name, actually.
On to Levi Leipheimer. Of course, he needs no introduction in his adopted hometown here in Santa Rosa. 3-time AMGEN Tour of California winner in 2007, 2008, 2009, bronze medalist in the time trial in the 2008 Beijing Games. Last year, he pretty much owned August in the United States, winning the Tour of Utah and the USA Pro Challenge in Colorado. And also 3rd in the podium in 2007. Let's not forget about that, and a stage win at the Tour de France. Levi, 2-part question for you. First question is, I know you've had a dream since the beginning, and you've been such a good advocate for the race to have the Grand Depart in Santa Rosa. And then the second part, how are you doing right now? How's the leg? And how's been the last month and a half since your accident?
Well, the first part, I remember that day we had
press conference in San Francisco. It was the fall of 2005 to announce that there would be a Tour of California. And I remember, dreaming about the roads we were going to race on and the peloton that would assemble, and the history of cycling in the U.S. that we were going to make. And 7 years later, to see it all come here to Santa Rosa, to Sonoma County, and start the whole thing has been just phenomenal to watch, and I'm proud to have been part of that in a lot of ways. And I think, I've seen the effect that the race has had on our community, on the state as a whole, as on U.S. cycling. It's made some careers, it's made some stars, and it's inspired the next generation. And all I can say is that I'm really proud of the race, and of course our community that has worked very hard to make this moment possible. As far as my leg, it's obviously it's a story that has been going on too long for me, but some days are better than others, and there's obviously some pain there, and the recovery is not as fast as you would hope. When you have an accident, you think, okay, I'm going to buckle down and get this thing healed, but in the end, there's not a whole lot you can do. You can go as, it heals as fast as it wants. So, it's been a trying 5.5 weeks, and all I can say is I'm in the end, I go between a little bit of frustration of, when I'm out there trying to get it better and trying to get in shape and suffering and hurting and just sort of feeling sorry for myself. I go from that feeling to, well, hey, at least I'm here and I'm able to ride my bike, to enjoy life, and to sit here in this press conference. So in the end, that's what I have to remind myself.
On to Chris Horner from the Trek Radioshack-Nissan team. I think anybody who was a fan of this event last year saw how he took off on Sierra Road, took command of the race, and went on to win it, the 2011 race champion. And in 2012 here, he's already finished second in Trino Adriatico. He raced some of the classics, and now in preparation for this race. Chris, first of all, what's it been like the last year here in the U.S. being the AMGEN Tour of California winner? And secondly, with your team and the way the team makeup is, it certainly looks like you guys are gunning for a second year. And so walk us through your team a little bit as well.
Yeah, well, it was a great win here in California. It's amazing what it's done for my career and exposure throughout the U.S. and even into Europe and stuff like that. So it's been fantastic for me. It was a great experience the whole week last year too, just with the team and the camaraderie and just watching it all go together. It's always good when you're wearing the leader's jersey for so long. The whole season so far has gone pretty good for me. A little couple injuries here and there and stuff, but in general everything's fantastic, and we've came here with a great team built around that helped me win again. So the course is a little bit less ideal for my type of rider than it was last year, but it's also, I think it's the hardest course that we've ever experienced too, so maybe that'll help me in the long run too. But certainly I'll miss the Sierra stage. I'd like 2 hard summit finishes like we had last year, but they gave me 1, so I'll take it. And the time trial changes a little bit. But in general, I'm very happy here. Came with a strong team, and I'm looking forward to Baldy.
You've always had a little bit of a cult following in the U.S. here. How has that changed at all in the last year by winning AMGEN Tour of California?
Well, I've won a lot of stuff in my career, so I think the cult following in terms of cycling it hasn't changed a whole lot within the cycling community itself. I think it's just expanded more in terms of people knowing me and recognizing me off the bike that aren't pure cyclists. So that part's changed a lot. But certainly in my career, I've won Tour of Georgia, San Francisco Grand Prix, a bunch of the one-day races and the stage races throughout the U.S. and some of the stuff in Europe. So it's really, the Tour of California really has expanded my people's knowledge of me and expectations of me that are outside of cycling. That's what's really grown.
We have 2 mics here. Peter, if you raise, and Katura. Just please raise your hand if you have a question here, and we'll go around the horn.
Hey, Levi. Phil Barber from the Press Democrat. I'm wondering when you fully made the decision to ride in this event. I know that it was back and forth for you a little bit.
Well, actually, I didn't really tell anybody that I was going to start, but I guess that was a good guess. Yeah, the thought of not starting here in Santa Rosa after, working along with so many other people to make it happen, it just kills me. And so, it was important that when the team got here, that I was able to show them that I wouldn't be a burden on them. I wouldn't be a weak link. I wouldn't just roll out in Santa Rosa and do, 50K or even just the first stage and then quit, because that's not fair to the team. And I wanted to show them that, I worked hard enough that I can get into good shape to help those guys throughout the week and to use the race to build for the future. So I'm very relieved and I'm very happy to say that I will start the race.
And
Thank you.
And if I could just follow up, the leg at this point, how much of it is a pain issue for you and how much a performance issue?
More so a performance issue. When I'm learning now that when you have an injury like this, it really shuts the leg off and kind of the whole side of the body. So, I'm operating with, I don't know what percentage, but less than 100% of power. That's for sure. But like I said, I worked really hard. I did a ton of physical therapy, and I got to tell you, I'm sick of icing my leg. I'm sick of all that. But it's all been with this in mind, and taking the start on Sunday and being a part of this huge event for our community, for Santa Rosa, for Sonoma County, and just happy to be there.
Elliot.
Hi, this is for Levi, Chris, and Tom. If you could all answer it, please, I'd appreciate it. I'm not asking you to announce retirements today by asking this question, but I wanted to talk about your legacies, and we seem to be in this sort of transition time with TJ and Andrew and Tyler Finney. There's a bunch of young bucks coming up. And can you just talk about if you feel like that you've helped leave the sport in the United States in good stead?
Well, to answer your last statement there, I think we've all done our best to lead the sport and to make it better. To come out and say that we have or have not is not for us to say, but I know that myself and Chris and Tom have really worked hard to promote the sport, to inspire the next generation and young kids to get on their bikes, and if that leads to racing, all the better. And there is this next generation coming, knocking at the door. Well, let's say they've already kind of, kicked the door down. Taylor Finney had the pink jersey. TJ has already shown that he can battle for the classification in just about any race in the world. So, as well as Andrew Talansky being second in Romandy. And I think I can speak for Chris and I as well that, we're not quite ready to just give up and lie down. And it makes for some great battles. I think between TJ and I last year in Colorado was pretty cool, because I had the jersey, he took it, and I had to dig deep to get it back, and that was some cool drama, and it was a story of young versus old, if you will. So I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to hold them off, though, Chris.
Tom, any additions?
Yeah, I think, when we just talk about cycling, we definitely refer to it as sort of a lifelong sport. And I think that, we're just examples of that, where you can have a sport where both ends of the spectrum are competing for the overall, and you have 21, 22, 23-year-olds competing with 40, 41-year-olds. And let's be honest, okay? Like, you can call us 10 years difference, 12, whatever, 20 years difference, but Chris, let's be honest. Do we act any different? Do we do anything different? We listen to the same music. We hang out together.
No, we don't.
You don't. You listen to slightly, but you still listen to the same music that you did when you were 20 years old. So
Exactly.
yeah. So I mean, like, we wear our hat backwards. Like, we don't think we're 40 years old or 34 or whatever. We think we're 21. So it works great. We just all. It's a great sport. We all intermingle, and it's just proof that you can do it your entire life. And look at Ned Overend. How old is he? 58, 57. He could be up here winning. So yeah, it's a great sport. You can do it for your entire life, and hopefully we'll all be doing it for another 10, 15 years.
Chris, anything to add?
Evidently, Tommy D's not 40 yet, because I get out of bed a little bit slower, I walk a little bit more funny, but when I'm on the bike, everything feels good. So as long as I'm winning, as long as I'm competitive, I'm going to keep going. It's really fun watching the young kids. I like giving a little bit of advice. I like talking with them, chatting with them. Personally, throughout my career, we were blessed with racing with Lance Armstrong on the team, and he's been around, so he's made our generation look that much better, because Lance paved the way through such great results, and so we've always been blessed with that. But certainly, I think American cycling has fabulous talent coming through. Sooner or later, maybe sooner more than later, then some of these young guys will knock us off the pedestal. But at the moment, certainly when we're here at the Tour of California, you got a couple old guys that are still gunning for the win. So for me, I might get out of bed a lot slower and walk to my bike 4 times slower, but once I'm on it, I ride it fast. That's all that matters.
This is Laura Weisel from Cycling News. This is for Chris and Vincenzo. Tirreno Adriatico was one of the most exciting races of the spring, and you had the jersey, and Vincenzo took it away from you at the end. Tell me about a little bit how that felt, and how it felt to win. Congratulations, by the way. And will we see a rematch like that here?
La vittoria della Tirreno Adriatico è stata una vittoria particolare, bella, perché diciamo è una vittoria molto difficile anche per un grande avversario come Chris Horner, no? Comunque sono molto contento e è un capitolo nuovo ora. Sì, il Tirreno Adriatico non è come Giro, però è quasi simile.
So the victory at Tirreno Adriatico was particular, strange, because of the situation, and also just because of the such a strong adversary or competitor like Chris. And it's a race. It's an important race in Italy. It's not the Giro, but it's still a great race, and it was great to have won it, and still feels like an important victory for him.
Yeah, hey, this is Neil Rogers with Velo News. It's a question for Chris.
Oh,
sorry.
okay. Yeah, for me it was fabulous going back there. I made it a goal as soon as I crashed out of the Tour to whatever race I was going to come back into to be 100% right from the start of the season, just to expel, just to get any thoughts out of that maybe the form is not there. It was a fabulous race, and I remember Vincenzo and I, the very first time I saw him racing in 2005, doing a stage at Tour of Suisse, and when he was really, really young. And so we had the question earlier about the young guys knocking us off the pedestal. So Tirreno's where I got to witness some of that. And but no, he's a fabulous rider. And for me, I was incredibly excited to go podium there. I had a little bit of an injury I was dealing with at the finish and stuff. But certainly in the time trial, Vincenzo was a better TT for time trialist than me, so I expected to be just one side or the other for the win there. But circumstances being what they were and coming off of 8 months from the Tour de France and the blood clot and all that stuff, I was quite excited to finish second. And really, for me, it was a win-win all the way around. And would have been a little bit one more step for the win would have been good for the team and all that stuff, of course. But for me personally, all my personal goals were met. I just wanted to go there and be top 5, so to have the leader's jersey for 3 days and to just lose it in the time trial was, especially to a top rider like Vincenzo, then nothing had changed for me personally. What's that? Oh, it's a different time of the year. I'm hopefully Vincenzo's not on the exact same form, but I'm sure he will be. When I look at the podium up here, I see everybody up here. Maybe not Tom, but everybody else is better time trialist than me. Tom too on his day. Let's hope he's not there, otherwise I'm going to look really bad. But so for me here, it's damage control in the TT, and we get on the Baldy stage. Whichever guy is sitting second, third, fourth, and fifth is going to have to attack first at Baldy, and I'll probably be 5th or 6th on GC at that particular point in time, and then I'm just going to have to make a selection at the finish, and then the legs are good or they're not good, so it'll be easy to decide. But I'd fully expect Vincenzo to be there at the finish, and we're fighting each other for the win again.
Neil. Yeah, sorry about that earlier. Yeah, it's a question for Chris, and it's kind of along the same lines, but you told my colleague Matt here yesterday that if Levi starts the race, you see him as one of the GC favorites, and I wanted to see if you could expand on that a little bit, and love to hear Levi talk about that as well, and then just kind of get your take on who you think the big favorites are.
Yeah, certainly Levi and myself are going to be big favorites here at Tour of California. Whatever his leg has done or didn't or hasn't been, or this or that, or whatever it happens to be, I'm not going to just let Levi go up the road in the break on the first stage. So unless he gets dropped on the Santa Rosa stage on Sunday, then I expect him to be 100% when we get to the Baldy stage. For me, we have the time trial first, so I don't have to play much guessing. We'll go into the time trial. If he wins the time trial, then you know he's on form. If he finishes 40th, then you know his leg's not good. So it'll be really easy because my race really doesn't start until Baldy. And until then, I just got to sit back and stay fresh and stay out of trouble. And by the time we reach the time trial, if Levi's wearing the jersey or he's sitting second or third to Zabriskie, then we know he's on form. Nothing's going to change between now and then. I think these first few stages would be the liquid gas show with Peter Sagan winning just about everything, and if Tom comes here on very, very good form, then of course Tom's the only guy I think that'll give him a run for the money. So I think we're looking at the liquid gas show and maybe a quick step for the first part of the week, and then you see the Radio Shack boys come in at the finish. Certainly Zabriskie. He'll come out of the time trial, I think, as my favorite to win the time trial. You certainly saw it last year. We had a devastating time trial where he just killed all of us, and so you'll see Zabriskie there. Maybe with the way these stages are done, I think we're going to have 20 to 50-man groups at the finish. And whenever you have groups that small, it's very simple for a group of 4 or 5 guys that have a little bit of a leash. They can get away and maybe snag 30 seconds. And so we could have somebody in the leader's jersey that's, of course, not up on this podium as we go into the time trial. But I fully expect after the Baldy stage that one of the guys on this podium right here will have the leader's jersey.
Other questions?
Hey, this is Matt from Velo News. It's a question for Levi mainly, and you sort of touched on it a little bit earlier, but I mean, I was wondering if you would come out and say if you're racing for fitness or if you're in fact racing to win.
Well, I mean, we're sitting here before the race and nobody knows, but you know, I got to be realistic. I mean, my leg was broken. It wasn't just a crack or a bruise or a hematoma. I mean, the bone was apart, and you can see the X-ray. It doesn't take a doctor to see that. So, I I've only been training for 2 weeks, and it hasn't gone that great. So, you know, as professional cyclists, professional athletes, we're always taught and ingrained to reach for the stars and be positive and never give up, obviously, but, you know, I got to be realistic and just sort of take the pressure off myself and realize that I haven't been training that much. It's taken me, you know, a lot of hard work just to be able to take the start, and I don't think that you should count on me for the overall.
Hi, Elliot on the San Jose Mercury News again. So this is for TJ and the other Americans. I wanted to ask about the Olympic qualifying because that's on the horizon here. And are you guys comfortable with the process? And how will this race, how will the time trial play into your thinking about London?
Before I answer your question, I just wanted to, I forgot to say this earlier. I have a friend from Bozeman, Montana, who I grew up racing with, who was also just hit by a car in San Diego. And he's in the ICU, and it's not up yet, but I signed a polka dot jersey from the Tour de France that I'm putting on the proscloset.com to help pay for his medical bills. So just wanted to use this opportunity to get the word out there. And as far as the Olympic selection, I don't actually know what the criteria is. I hear it's really hard to meet, and I think they do that on purpose so that there's a selection committee to where they can just choose the best riders. The thing is, I think the committee is diverse enough to where you know, there's not going to be any favoritism, or they're really going to choose the best riders who have the best, who can make up the best team for best chance of a medal. And I mean, I'm comfortable with it. If I'm chosen, great. If I'm not, then, you know, I think it would be for a good reason, and that reason would be to get the U.S. a medal.
Any other comments, Chris or Tom or Levi?
I agree with TJ. I mean, you know, I think that I think they're doing their best with a difficult situation. Of course, when they announce a team, people could feel differently, but it's a process, and you know, I don't have much more to say than that, I guess.
Final questions here.
Yeah, question for Tom. I was thinking when Levi was talking about making the decision whether or not he would race, I was curious if you could talk a little bit about what that's like for the rest of the team. You come to California, you know, when it was on your schedule, thinking you would be riding for Levi for the win, and in the weeks building into the race, maybe he will, maybe he won't, and it changes the focus of the team. Can you talk a little bit about what that's like for you and the rest of the guys?
I was pretty busy myself, so no, I think it's not only Levi. Levi, he makes up his own mind. If he wants to ride, he can ride it. I don't think it was a problem for anyone of the team. And we also have Peter Villits here, who is very eager to have a good result in this race. So I think maybe we have to wait and see a little bit how the first few stages go. And like Chris already said, the time trial doesn't lie, and after the time trial we'll know which person we will be working for in the upcoming stages.
We have time for 2 final questions, so now's the time. Okay, if not, we'll do a photo opportunity here with all the members of the dais.